Victor Teo is the man with the answers, a visiting research fellow at the University of Cambridge, who currently is in Singapore. Victor, you know that famous picture. There's new data which shows that in the year 2018, because obviously data from North Korea is very difficult to get to, the new research looked at actually the electricity grid around North Korea and tried to extrapolate from that how many people live in poverty. The data that I saw, the research I saw was published in March last year, and it says at least 60% of North Korea is living in poverty. Do we really know how poor the country is?
I think any data that you see, you should be really skeptical, because I don't think North Korea publishes any sort of data, particularly regarding its poverty levels. I think it's suffice to say that most of the people in North Korea live very frugally and humbly, and electricity is something of a rarity in North Korea, particularly in the provinces. But having said that, I would like to add that I think life in North Korea has gotten considerably better since the 1990s. It's not much better, but certainly when it comes to things like electricity, they would have more of it now. Many North Korean families actually have bought these. They have actually gathered equipment, particularly to do with solar energy, in their own villages and hamlets. So most of them are actually going green in terms of trying to get energy into the places that they live. So to that extent, we might actually not see a lot from the satellite photos, but I think the North Korean people, they do still have a certain amount of electricity in their lives.
OK, what did you make of the admission from Kim Jong-un that his 5-year plan is failing or has failed in almost all areas, and therefore does he need to change direction?
I think he recognizes that there is a need for North Korea to try and do a lot more economically, and that is really good news, because unlike his father, he is not in denial. At least he has been very open and upfront about this, and I think this is a good thing. This is the second of his 5-year plan. So the first time he did this was in 2016, and I think this time he's very upfront and very honest about his success or failure. This shows that he has actually come around to be more confident in his position. After the Kim-Trump summit, the 2 summits with Trump, he feels that he is more secure domestically and perhaps internationally. So this increased sense of confidence has, enabled him to come in front of the people and admit that he's made a mistake, or rather the party needs to work better. But I also think that this is an increased political savviness on his part to boost his domestic popularity, because I do not think that his father or his grandfather has actually come in front of a Congress to say that, well, we have done wrong. We should be doing better. I don't think that that kind of political accountability was seen in the previous 2 leaders. Having said that, it's also an attempt for him to try and bring the country together, because I think the North Koreans' assessment is that they have more tougher times ahead, largely due to the effects of the pandemic, the ongoing pandemic that will be carried on into next year, and also because of the installation of a new president, a Democratic president in the United States. Comparatively speaking, Trump is probably the best hope for North Korea, and because he's open to new ideas and open to trying new things like meeting Kim. So insofar when the North Koreans are concerned, the reinstallation of a Democratic president like Obama is actually not a good thing for them. So I think from the North Koreans' perspective, they feel that next year might not actually be a better year than this year.
OK, Victor, I only have 1 minute left with you. So tell me what you think is going to be more important for North Korea over the next 4 years. Will it be what happens inside North Korea, or the reaction in Washington, D.C. and in the White House?
I think for sure inside North Korea. The domestic politics of North Korea and the economic situation often drives the priorities of the leader. It's important in the North Korea leader's agenda. is not really determined by what's happening in Washington, because like it or not, I think the North Korean leaders' intent is to keep the country isolated, isolated politically, so that they would always be, the Kim family will always be in power. So I think this is the primary, if you like, strategy that they are undertaking. So, whether unless the U.S. leader agrees to have some sort of have the sanctions lifted, and to embark with North Korea on peace talks, whatever happens in the United States is not really very important for North Koreans.
Sure. Victor, thank you so much. Victor Teo from the University of Cambridge, but speaking to us from Singapore.